All right, let's start with that top story. Of course, the ANC President Cyril Ramaphosa appearing before the Commission of Inquiry into State Capture. SABC political editor Mzwandile Mbeje joins us now. He was there for us at the hearing today. Mzwandile, very good evening to you. Well, certainly there seemed to have been a defense from the ANC President on the deployment of party members to the public service, but also he did admit it sometimes went wrong. Talk to us about that.
Thank you very much, Griselda, and good evening. It was a very interesting day today. I mean, as you have said, we saw the president of the ANC, he was there in that capacity, basically talking about the issues. And then the big chunk of the day was the cadre deployment. So he effectively defended the cadre deployment, but he did indeed say there were weaknesses. So which means going forward, they may need to tighten some of those issues when deploying certain individuals to certain institutions. So clearly, that was really the issue at the commission. But of course, Griselda, that was not the only issue. I mean, before he ended his testimony today, he also delved into the issue around party funding. You remember there were issues of Bosasa, and in fact, he is personally as well got involved somehow with getting some money from Bosasa. So then the question was, so how is the ANC handling the situation? And of course, he admitted that, so he did not know how that happened. But of course, those were the issues really that were very interesting. In fact, let's take a listen as to what is his take on the political party funding.
It is one of the anomalous events that did happen. And what is prominent in my mind is to say, what do we do to prevent it from happening? But having said that, let me say, and let me put on the one hand that the Political Funding Act is going to be our savior. On the other hand, we should also say that if, for instance, a company donates money to a political party, and it so happens as well that in some way or fashion it does business with government, but that funding is not being given to the political party in return for getting contracts and all that, I would say when it happens openly and transparently, then there should not be any problem.
So, Mzwandile, right in the beginning, clearly the ANC president had presented what looked to be an honest assessment of the failure of the ANC as the center of power to stop the rot. But can he exonerate himself? Because, I mean, even when you start with the cadre deployment policy, he was Secretary General of the ANC when this policy was hatched.
Well, it's very interesting, Griselda, what he had to say there. And I know many people were expecting that there were so many things that the president was going to say in terms of admitting what went wrong. In fact, I think what he did really perhaps admit to was that so many things went wrong. And I think because he still has a day to say something tomorrow, he probably would still be forthcoming as to why some of the lapses did happen. Of course, he was very forthright about that again. Let's also listen to this clip where he also indicated that, he knew things were wrong.
I appear before the commission not to make excuses or to defend the indefensible. The ANC has agreed to not only support the work of the Commission, but to assist the Commission in every way possible to fulfill its mandate. My submission and other submissions made on the ANC's behalf by a number of my comrades and colleagues are therefore intended to provide whatever information, context, and explanation the Commission may require. Corruption is not a new phenomenon in South Africa. The apartheid system was morally and systematically corrupt.
So, Mzwandile, my next question was actually related to that. There he's also saying that he's not there to make excuses for the governing party or defend the indefensible. This is quite a very important statement in light of the recent utterances of the party's Secretary General and a Deputy Secretary General on the commission itself. What does this say?
Well, it basically says, in his own words, he said, they actually welcome this commission, they support this commission, and basically, from his point of view, is that this is the cleansing situation for them, is the renewal, is the start. So with everything that was wrong that happened, it's about time for them to then pick themselves up. So I think when I looked at him and what he was saying and some of the things that he was admitting were done wrong, he basically wants to use that as the opportunity to restart. It's a reset button.
Mzwandile, also developing over the past hour or so now, the ANC's Supra Mahumapelo being suspended. Talk to us a bit about that. I think developments that have taken place over the past couple of weeks certainly indicated that perhaps something was going to happen.
Oh yes. It was very clear. But what is interesting is that this is now feeding into the divisions that are really taking place. In fact, as the month is about to end, people are wondering when is the Secretary General of the ANC going to be stepping aside. Remember that resolution that he needed to step aside. And of course, he said he needed to consult with the elders of the ANC. He has spoken to people like Matthew Sposa, the former President Jacob Zuma. So him, as Supra Mahumapelo, being known to be an ally of Ace Magashule, and then this development happened. And remember, in the next few days, we expect Ace Magashule to also step aside. Clearly will deepen the divisions within the ANC. In fact, ANC President, who is back at the State Capture Commission tomorrow, has his work cut out for him.
SABC Political Editor Mzwandile Mbeje, I'm sure you and your team will be watching those developments for us. Thank you very much indeed for your insights this evening. As the ANC President